Hey guys, Jeremy Whittington from Thinkaholics. We're at Midwest Dreamin'. I'm here with Sam Alexander, a pre-sales solution engineer with Squid. So Sam, what can you tell everybody about what you guys do?
Yeah, so we're a rapid application development platform for Salesforce, native to Salesforce. Basically, things you would ordinarily have to use code to do, to customize Salesforce, make it work the way that your people do. We've kind of abstracted that and turned it into a declarative process. So drag and dropping various components, things like charts and visualizations, tables, field editors, navigation, search, you name it, things you would ordinarily encounter in the apps you use day to day. And we've turned those into drag and drop components. So you can drag it into a page, assemble an app, and then connect it to your data, really any data. So it can be Salesforce, can be outside Salesforce, anything that's accessible via REST or OData API. You can bring that into the page, read, write, just as you would if you're working with Salesforce data, but we try to make it as easy as possible.
Okay, so just kind of understanding that a little bit. So obviously we're a consulting firm, so we do a lot of custom Lightning or Visual Force development, right? So essentially what you're saying is rather than me having to write the code, I'd be able to kind of drag and drop and do a lot of that development. I think you also mentioned that we can use outside data too, right? So is that correct, like my understanding?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, we try to cover as much as we possibly can with the code-free portion of it, but we make it very easy to, if you need to customize something further, maybe Squid gets you 90% of the way, you can customize that further with JavaScript or CSS, get the exact look and feel that you want from your pages. And then with the external data portion, a common one we see is maybe CRM and ERP. Maybe there's a process that starts in CRM, ends in ERP, and you want to bring that all into one single pane of glass so your users can work on that in one place and reduce clicks, increase efficiency, and reduce friction.
So that's interesting. So maybe like order history, right? Order status, shipping information, things like that. Rather than me having to write an integration to pull that in, you can essentially just grab that data and show it right there on the page, right?
Exactly.
Okay. All right. So what kind of visualization stuff can we do? You mentioned that you do have like grabs and things like that, so that can like help us enhance the way it looks. But what about just the functionality itself, like date fields or what's there?
Sure. So we've got lots of different kinds of charts, just to give you. However you want to display your data, we have a lot of different options for that, as well as geocharts if you're trying to go based on geolocation. The really cool functionality we add with our chart suite is the ability to interact with those. So say you want to filter the data on your page by just clicking into a state on your United States of America map. You can click on California, filter the rest of the data on the page down to California. And then there's another chart that says, listing your pipeline by quarter, and you want to see everything that's in California as well as just in Q2. Then you can click into Q2, filter the data even further, or maybe show a pop-up of all the different opportunities in that particular quarter. So we make that process of building out that interactivity between components and data also as code-free as possible.
And does the chart you're talking about, does it sit on top of Salesforce reports, or is it you can kind of go further and do your own thing within Squid?
You can go further and do your own thing. So Salesforce reports, if that's necessary for your business, by no means has to go away. This is more, when you build a page with Squid, you kind of rethink the way reports work. If you're just looking to be able to continually filter your data down based on different parameters, rerun different queries just so you can see what your data looks like at a high level, instead of having to configure, run report, configure, run report, print report, configure, run report, you can do all that in real time. At a meeting, for example, bring up your dashboard, toggle some filters, in real time you've got that data. Okay, let's actually see what it looks like with this, make a change, update this cost, see that change, update in real time. So we make that process easier as well.
And can you embed this on like the account page at all, or things like that, or how's that work?
You can. So you can override an account tab, for example. So if you want your account tab interface to be overridden with a Squid page, you can do that. And then you can override a detail page as well. Within Lightning, it actually gets even more flexible, because it's component based. You can basically drag a Squid custom component that we provide in our managed package into the page, and then bring in a simple Squid page with some field editors across 4 different objects, into an account page. So whereas you couldn't do inline editing across multiple objects before. If you bring that Squid page in as a custom component almost, then you can accomplish that. So it provides a lot of flexibility for adding that functionality to Salesforce.
All right, so you did mention that developers can code, but what about for admins? Like, this is essentially drag and drop. What would it take for an admin that doesn't know how to use Squid to start using it and build a page?
It'd be pretty quick, actually. I think the biggest hurdle that people run into when they're working with Squid is understanding the data model. You can't just walk up to Squid as somebody who has no idea how Salesforce works and expect to build an app. That wouldn't make a lot of sense. You would need to understand what are the connections between my different objects. How do these relate to each other?
Well, but the admins, right? They'll already kind of have that on their background. So just using Squid to build the interface, very intuitive, very easy to jump in there and start doing.
I certainly think so. Yeah. I think admins are the group that tends to like our product the most, because admins a lot of time first of all, they have the most interaction with users, so they know exactly what their users want, and also they have probably the most familiarity with just their data model, because they're working with it every day, and so they can take this vision that they have of the perfect application, the perfect workflow within Salesforce, and make that a reality without necessarily having to have that coding expertise to do that.
Okay. All right, so if people want to try it out, get their hands on it, what's the best thing for them to do?
You just go to squid.com and request a free trial, or we're also available on the App Exchange.
Okay. All right, well, thanks so much for your time.
You bet. Thanks so much.
Hey, if you like our videos, please be sure to subscribe and follow us on Twitter.